It did. Oh, hello.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? We are back, episode 2, season 2 of Conversating, Conversing, and Relating. I am one half of your fabulous and special. Should I say special? I should say special. Good host, Coach Hughes, and we have.
Hi, I'm April Autumn. Good to see you all. Glad you're here.
So we're back again. Season 2. First episode was pretty good. Getting back in the swing of things, except for we thought somebody was peeing earlier, and it was the candle. It was the candle. That's what we were laughing about as we came on. We were laughing about that.
Yeah, the wax situation here. Wax. And you know what? Let me tell you something. I learned something really interesting in my PhD program the other day.
What?
Shout out to my PhD and Dr. Rockman. Hey, and all my classmates. Yay. So I'm getting my PhD in clinical sexology, right?
Right.
And we were talking about candles. I did not know. This tells you how wrong I was. You don't just get regular candles from the store. There's special candles for people who like wax play.
Wax play.
Yeah. So here I am, like, I don't know about you, but I've touched wax before and it's accidentally touched me. And I'm like, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Right?
Extremely hot.
Extremely hot.
Yeah.
Well, the wax that they have for wax play is different. Did not know. Learned something new. Changed my life.
I don't even know where you would order that stuff from.
Oh, would you like to know?
Mm-mm.
So, yeah. So thank you for my classes and teaching me all the wonderful things that I need to know. Because I didn't know. So if we have clients who are interested in wax play, like, I don't want to just tell them, go to Walmart and get you some candles. No.
But hold up. Speaking of Walmart, on the other side of the coin, my brother texted me a picture of some of the stuff they sell at Walmart up in Dallas.
Okay.
Or Fort Worth or whatever.
Shout out to the North Dallas North uses. Okay.
And it was birthday cake flavored cream for backside play.
You could have just said butt play.
For butt play.
Okay.
But basically it's
anal play, really.
Anal play. And it's birthday cream flavor. And I'm like, why'd they make it birthday cake?
Because maybe that's when you get it done. That's your birthday. I don't know.
That was weird. He said they got one that they said they sell like it's popcorn flavored. And
yeah.
I'm like, man, all this for flavored ass.
I think people don't realize that everybody has their things that they like, that they enjoy, and some historically access to those kinds of things were for the upper echelon. Right?
Yeah. That was reserved for the people with money.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you look historically at art, things of that nature, you would see that there's art that shows kink consciousness, but it was only really with the upper echelon.
Yeah.
So now, people in every socioeconomic status are interested in certain kinks, certain things. And so, yeah, you got to make it available. If you have folks who want to buy it, Walmart's going to be, hey,
yeah.
Let me put this out. Somebody's going to have their birthday cake.
But they blame Diddy for all the baby oil.
You know what? Goodbye. We're not going there.
I'm just saying.
We're not going there.
Did you have a good week?
It's been a pretty good week. Yeah. So it was a lot of work this week. Like getting back into the swing of things. Oh my gosh. Queendom was amazing.
Queendom was lit.
Queendom was amazing. Shout out to all my queens out there who came to Queendom. If you are interested in coming to Queendom, please send us a message on either www.aprilautumnsparks.com or theobsidianluxgroup.com. Let me know that you would like to be a part of the group. and we can talk about it and we'll get you there. So yeah, but it was really good, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But there was a lot of vulnerability, and I really appreciate that, and that also gives me an opportunity to be human and be vulnerable as well, because I am not perfect, as you know.
Yeah.
Some people may think I am. Some people may think I am, which I totally don't think I am.
Yeah, a lot of people think that we think we perfect, or we like being the opposite of perfect.
Well, I mean, to have that thought, because we're human and we make errors. And, I can't even say that we're striving for perfection. I think we're striving to be better human beings on this journey. And it is indeed a journey. I feel like I'm preaching now. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Okay.
We're passing the collection. No plan.
Yeah, it's a journey, and the only person I'm in competition with is the person that I was the day before.
There it is.
That's it.
Yep.
So yeah, it was a pretty good week. The first week back, we hit the ground running. We stumbled and rolled a little bit, but we got through the week. This month is going to be an interesting month.
Very much so.
Yeah. Are you doing Halloween?
I don't know. I don't know. We can revisit that. I haven't made my mind up. But what I am doing, and I like to do this every year, I start talking about the seasons changing. And I said that earlier during the week. Remember, This is a different season. This is a different time. And so you may have come to Queendom before, or you may have come to this podcast before, but this is a different season. You might get something new. And because this is the last quarter of the year, right?
Yeah.
Typically, this is harvest time.
Right.
It's Halloween and Thanksgiving and all of that stuff, and wrapping up to go to the new year. I like to start thinking about what's in store for the new year.
Right.
Start planning. So harvest is all about pulling in the harvest and looking at the accomplishments and all of those things that we meet our goals, all of that, but also planning for the next year. What goals do we want to achieve in the new year? We've already started talking about that, which is really exciting.
But, we've talked about that in depth, and we are ready to face everything that comes along with this, reaching the goals, because there are obstacles and hurdles you got to jump over just to reach goals, and hills and valleys just to reach goals. So we did talk about that a lot. Right. Speaking of, so what are we talking about today?
So I feel like, and I said this in Queendom, that I've been breadcrumbing people to get to this point where our main goal, our mission has been to really help people in the African diaspora come together. Right?
Right.
And so we are going to really take a deep dive into some of the things that created the divisiveness between Black men and Black women.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's real divisive. Doesn't have any room of slowing down. It does not have any room of slowing down, but it will.
Until we actually look at the thing. Remember, we talk about the hole in the sidewalk. You got to look at the thing, call the thing a thing, and then you can avoid it. But if you don't think that it's a thing,
right, they ain't gonna do it.
Right,
they ain't gonna do it.
Hey, girl.
Sis is in the house in her new spot.
Hey, girl. Yeah.
All the way out there in Ohio.
Shout out to
with the players out there with the Ohio players.
Really?
I don't know.
I don't think so. But hey, girl.
She made that move and made that leap. Congratulations on that one.
Yes, so proud.
Doing her thing.
Yeah.
So divine femininity and divine masculinity. And being aligned on both sides so we can be aligned down the middle as a couple. How important is that for people to get that message today in the middle of this divisiveness that we have?
Well, I think it's important as far as if you are a heterosexual person looking for a relationship, but I also believe these divines, helping them come out in each other, that helps how we parent, how we show up in our families, how we show up in the community. And it is a work to heal the entire community, not just me individual or you individually, but it's a collective work.
Right.
Because historically, we are communal people.
Right.
That's just what we are.
Yeah, it's a community based, and I think that's in our DNA.
Yeah.
As Black folk.
Mm-hmm.
Community is community.
Mm-hmm.
I take it back to where, you used to be able to get in trouble by not only your mama, but her neighbors or somebody who was watching you coming home, may have heard you got in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And they were able to give you a tap on the butt before your mama got home or your dad got home.
Mm-hmm.
It was community. You had church communities, really good church communities back then. Even though we knew or had suspicions of a lot of stuff going on in the church between pastors and his parishioners, but it was still a community-based situation.
Right. Right.
But times have changed.
Very much so. Like, you will get cussed out for talking to somebody's child, like, and trying to help them do better. Like,
right.
I think that was one of the reasons why I stopped teaching, because I had taught almost every grade and people started cursing people out. And I'm like, I'm just telling you what your child is. My child is wonderful. You don't tell.
Yeah.
Your child is wonderful, but they do this thing.
Yeah.
And this thing can get them in trouble. So we had talked about this whole, and this is going a little bit into this, like when we are operated and wounded, like single parents, whether it's female or male, but I'm speaking from the female side, where we uphold our male children and almost make them the man of the house, where we like really raise our daughters, right? Or our daughters become our girlfriends. Hey girl,
a lot of that.
Up? All of that. And then, it's not necessarily that they either one are really prepared for their journey, because that's our job, to get them prepared, just like we've been socialized to believe all these things. I feel like socialization has really failed the Black community.
Yeah. Socialization and unresolved issues have really failed the Black community, especially when we're talking about generational trauma. A lot of people are not in relationships. They're in trauma bonded situations.
Situationships, it is. Whoop.
Yeah, trauma bonded situations. But the work that we're doing is actually trying to fix that to where you don't have to be in a trauma bonded relationship. You can be in an actual relationship, the one that you want, right?
Now, let me be clear, babe. Let me be very, very clear. So I love the practice that we're in, what we're doing, the work that we're doing, how we're helping people. However,
right.
Everybody does not want to be doing this work.
No. A lot of people that we come across, especially recently, they want to try to challenge everything as a way of getting out of doing the work. And it's like, we told you this was a process from the beginning. We were upfront. We asked you how committed you were, and yet and still, you still don't drink now. Yeah.
Drink on the commitment, the level of commitment on this situation.
Yeah, don't drink now, because commitment going through your process of healing is a time. I spoke to somebody yesterday who said, I'm gonna call you in the summer.
Why you calling out people?
I ain't say no names.
But they know who they are.
That's my homie.
I'm just saying.
That's my homie.
So
I'm gonna call you in the summer, and she's like, I think just because I've been through counseling before, that it won't take that long. And I'm like, well, what did they do? Oh, they just listened to me talk. So they didn't talk about anything. They didn't challenge you here, give you no homework, nothing. No, they just listened to me talk. Okay.
Look, that high octave. Okay.
All right. But doing the work, when I got divorced, I knew I had to do the work, because I read, I was scared. I read that Black men just got stuck after divorce.
You know what that is, right?
What?
That's the toxic masculinity and the wounded masculinity that we're going to talk about tonight. But please continue.
They got stuck. I read that when I was going through my divorce, I was like, okay, I know this is going to be a situation, right?
Yeah.
So I did 30 days of truth before I got my divorce, or when it first started. Mm-hmm. And I fell on my sword amongst my peers on Facebook. Some people were questioning why I was doing it, but I had a reason to do it. And the reason was I knew that my peers were going to hold me accountable. Mm-hmm. And it was right. They were in my inboxes giving me the business, but I did 30 days of truth, about my side as to how I messed up and what my causes were as to why I was no longer going to be married, right? Yeah. But in the process of those 30 days, I got with somebody. It was some random dude, and he knew I was going through something. I said, "Yeah, I'm about to get a divorce," and he goes, "Yeah, you might want to read about how men go through divorce and how it affects men." And I was like, "Yeah, I know." He's like, "No, you don't know." And so I read a couple of things from, Psychology Today, sociology. I read a couple of, written passages from some prominent people in the medical field. Right. And when it came to men, we get stuck.
Yeah.
We get stuck. We go through the process of grief and separation and all this other stuff and all these other things that they talk about. And then we get to the one part and then we get stuck on anger and resentment and self-loathing and everything that involves that we'll talk about later on today. But it was just like, that scared the shit out of me.
It is scary.
Like I read about men that got divorced and stayed working. I'm talking about never dated or married again after 5 years.
Don't that sound like somebody okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We said, "Ooh, Jesus." Let me take another sip.
Right, but what I'm saying is, I was like, I was reading this stuff like he ain't talked to no girl or no fling, no nothing for 5+ years. Yeah. I was like, hell no.
That's not the first case that I've heard like
that. And
there's lots of them.
It's lots of cases like that where men who have really loved or thought they loved go through that phase, and that scared me. So I was like, nah, I'm gonna do the work because I don't want to get stuck like those guys or those men.
Okay. So on my side, it was, I'm the strong, independent Black woman. I can do all things. Every woman in some. No, it ain't.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't.
It is not in me.
Whitney was on crack when she wrote that
song.
Well,
actually, she didn't even write it.
She didn't write it when she sang it. When she did the remake.
She did the remake. Mm-hmm. But no, that is not true. That is so, and that whole, I have to do, I gotta control, I gotta this, I gotta that got to, have to, made me tired.
Yeah.
Made me resentful.
Yeah.
Made me a martyr. And I knew that it became a cycle for me. And I'll be, that I'm vulnerable. I got into the same relationship with several people.
Yeah.
It was just a different person. Yeah. And it wasn't until I was like, girl, go look at yourself.
Yeah.
Look in the mirror and say, oh, that's you. Oh, girl, that's ugly, but that's you. You did that. Mm-hmm. And really do the work that I need to do that I could actually see something different.
Yeah, we talk about, before we get into what we're going to talk about, and to some of the people that tuned in, the thing that got me was, we ask people in our practice, would you date you? Knowing what you know now, would you date you?
No, I would not date me.
And I had somebody ask me that. I don't know if it was my therapist or I was reading that. Mm-hmm. And that really hit home to me because I was like, hell no, I wouldn't date you. What the hell?
Broken, bitter.
And I started myself during the first stages of my healing process started siding with my ex-wife. Like, what was you thinking dating me? Like, like you ain't had all the choices, motherfucker.
You need to question yourself.
Right. We both question your judgment about me. Like, it was bad.
Wow.
It was bad because but when you hold yourself accountable and you're looking at the mirror and you're naked and you're looking at all the scrapes, the bruises, the war wounds and everything else, metaphorically speaking, and sometimes physically, and definitely emotionally, when you're looking at that, and then somebody goes, oh, by the way, while you're naked, would you date you knowing what you, and then you're like, for me, it was like, well, hell no, I wouldn't date me.
And you know what that helps with, though? And I've heard you do this on several occasions. That helps with a real apology for the things that you've done. Yeah. With the same bass in your voice, as you say, right? Yeah. Like, okay, I messed up. I apologize for doing blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Right? And so when you see that, you can understand, oh, I did that. I see why they responded. I see why they reacted. I see. Let me go ahead and issue this apology. I'm not trying to make up for it, but I'm wanting you to see
that I
did that.
Yeah.
I did that. Yeah. I'm taking full accountability. Yeah. And I commend you for doing that because that's hard work. And a lot of people, let me hold on. A lot of people don't do that.
No, a lot of people on both sides, men and women, do not take accountability, especially in the African American diaspora. Yep. And that's because accountability makes it real.
Yep.
Okay. Accountability makes what you have done and what you have accepted, what you have allowed to go on in your life as it relates to relationships, toxic environments, or whatever have you. Accountability makes it real. And I wanted to make it real because I was more afraid of getting stuck than accountability.
Right.
And a lot of people are not operating in that because they're more afraid of the accountability and they're more comfortable getting stuck.
Right. Well, I mean, let's be honest. We have a history of being stuck. We know stuck. Right. Stuck is comfortable.
Right.
Stuck is comfortable. And this stuck is different.
Right.
Right. But it's still a trauma. Right. So it's relatable. So it's just like any other thing. Right.
Sis says you can get different results. You can't get different results until you can commit to what it requires to have different results in your life. Discipline, integrity for the things you want is a game changer. You deserve better. Yeah. I think we all deserve better. But here's the thing. What we have found in our practice is that a lot of people, despite them wanting better, wanting to be surrounded by better, when we get down to the root of it, they truly don't think they deserve better.
And the way that they do that, instead of taking accountability, it ain't me, it's you. It's you. It's you. You the problem.
Here goes my problem. Fix it.
Fix him. Fix it.
So, we literally had somebody say that a couple of days ago.
Here goes lots of people
fix it, right?
say that. Right. So, okay. So do you think we should ask some questions?
Yeah, let's ask some starting questions. Again, we're talking about divine femininity and divine masculinity. A lot of people don't understand what that is. So before we get into what that is, of course, we got notes and
and we did research.
And we do research.
Because you know who we are, the academics.
We love it. Okay, so I'm going to go backwards on the questions.
Okay.
What are some ways you think we can foster better understanding and balance between Black men and Black women in our communities? I'm going to add a caveat as it relates to dating. Basically, what do you think we can do as Black men and Black women to come back together and improve the dating situation in the Black community? What do you think? We're asking you guys out there, our fans, our followers, our people that's tuning in. What do you think we can do to just basically improve the dating in our community? Give us some things we can do.
Well, I'm not going to answer the question. I'm going to let other folks. I'm going to ask question number 2 since we're going backwards.
You go question number 1.
No, I want to go question number 2.
Okay, go ahead.
Because you are the TikTok aficionado.
I am on TikTok. I'm all right.
No.
I can cause.
Look, between the two of us?
But that's different. I can hit the hornet's nest and not care. But,
not care at all.
Yeah.
So you've been hearing rhetoric. What's the rhetoric? What is the discord between Black men and Black women on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter about masculinity and femininity?
You have masculine, toxic women, Black women, telling Black men, toxic and non-toxic, that they need to be more masculine, while you have toxic and non-toxic Black men telling toxic masculine women, you need to be more feminine. Then we, as Black men who are non-toxic, we tell the Black women on social media, we're only talking to the toxic women. At the same time, we're trying to protect the ones who the toxic Black women call pick-me's and pick-me-shas and everything else, because they don't agree with the sisterhood, and they're also holding the Black women accountable, right? The toxic ones. Then you have non-toxic Black women trying to uplift Black men by saying, we didn't understand how much you were affected, targeted, and stuff like that. And Black men, toxic Black men are saying or non-toxic Black men are saying to the non-toxic Black women, okay, that's great, but can you talk to the toxic ones like you want us to talk to the toxic Black men? So it's a lot of crisscross and stuff going on, but overall, you have a very few, or I wouldn't say a few, but the minority speaking for the majority, right? And the minority is the toxic Black woman and the toxic pandering Black man on social media.
Pandering.
Yeah, they pander. Yeah, because I mean, you got, what's the guy's name who got caught cheating? Derek Jackson, and but they like him, but they hated Kevin Samuels. They celebrated when Kevin Samuels died, all on the internet. Yeah, Kevin Samuels died. I'm glad he did. Derek Jackson gets caught cheating, and they make excuses, right?
But I think a lot of people, again, don't know how Kevin Samuels started.
He started by
was talking about Black men.
Yeah.
And so I think, just my thought, I think most Black women was like, stay in your
Yeah,
that's what they were doing. Like, boy, you better stay over there. Talk to them. Let us talk to them. But you talk to them.
That's the norm on social media across all social platforms, that Black men, toxic Black women who don't want to take accountability, they don't want to be talked to. Black men can't talk to them. Black women who are non-toxic can't talk to them. They dodge accountability like the baby daddies that they claim dodge child support.
Well, and I will say, and again, I'm agreeing with you because I see it all. I hear it all. It's there. I'm not arguing this point. I believe that part of it, and we just lost 3 people just mentioning Kevin Samuels. But anyway, it's all right. We're going to talk about it regardless. That's what we do. I think his approach was so like guillotine. He would be,
but he was guillotine
people.
with men too. And
I'm just saying, it was guillotine. He was cutting people's heads off.
A lot of people don't understand, especially the women who hated him. Look at the way he talked to men. When he was telling men, "Oh, she's a gold digger. Good. She needs to reach for her goals. You need to stop complaining and make more money because you don't see the men who are the higher value men complaining about her being a gold digger. They just make enough money where they're not worried about her being a gold digger."
Right.
And he was telling women, go ahead, be a gold digger. Men need to stop complaining and make more money. And women was like, yes, yes. But when he started checking women about their unreasonable expectations and their stuff and ripping the Band-Aid off about this is reality versus what you want in Rainbow Land, now it's a problem. And so the accountability is not there. Because men were like, when he was roasting men were like, yeah, you need to get your shit together, bro.
Right, right. And I'm not saying that because we talk a lot about the same thing, the unrealistic expectation between Black men and Black women too.
Right, because Black men
it's just how we talk about it.
Yeah, Black men what she just said, have unrealistic expectations as well.
Yes.
So let's not act like Black men or Black women are the only one with unrealistic expectations.
Thank you.
Right?
Yep.
So
we got no answering. We got not pandering. So
since I was saying, we got to normalize the difference between shaming and owning. There's power in owning your truth, and you're able to change the narrative of self and create life more fulfilling. Right.
Okay.
Right. She continues by saying, utilizing communication styles that usually build your partner up and help us to see areas where we can improve on ourselves and relationships as a whole. Attitude and servitude to each other. Right.
I agree with that. There are lots of people who can't give gratitude to others because they can't give gratitude to themselves.
Right. We are trying to bridge the gap between the Black man and the Black woman and make the dating community a little bit more better and suitable. And so this is why we're talking about what we're talking about today, which is divine masculinity and divine femininity.
Yep. You ready to jump in?
Let's jump in.
Let's go.
Let me see if I can do this right.
You got this, baby.
See if I can do this.
You got it.
You gotta do this.
You got it.
I should pass it to you right now.
Nope. I like it when you drive.
All right.
So we talked about like this whole, like, how could we do it? But what we didn't talk about were the feelings that come up for people. So, can you go to the next
slide? Okay.
Yeah. See, you did it.
I did listen.
But before we go there, so you all know that we're always talking about why this is important and how this is important, all those things. And so on the hierarchy of needs, this encompasses everything. And we're at self-actualization. Number five. Yeah. And so doing this helps you to actualize, helps you to get to purpose, helps you to get to your divine, what you're supposed in your lane, to go, to do, to be all that you can be. Yeah. Not in the army though. Yeah. Anyway, so yes, we can keep going.
All right.
And so this alignment
hold up. I'm sorry. I got to say this.
Please say it.
This is chakra alignment.
Yes.
I don't care what religion you are. You can be all the Christian you want to be. Chakra is real. It's actually talked about in the Bible in a certain way, but it's not referred to as chakra. Chakra is referred to as faith and belief. Right. So also in the Bible, it says, your tongue is a double-edged sword. Mm-hmm. Paraphrasing, but be careful what you say because you can bring it to fruition.
Right.
Chakra says the same exact thing. Mm-hmm. Right. So tell us what we're looking at.
So this is the chakras and how they align within your body. Basically, our belief is that our chakras are off, not only within ourselves, but within our partnerships, within the communities, within our family. Right. And we'll get into that a little bit. But what we need is divine balance and alignment. And when this is aligned, the crown is I know, right? Then I see, I speak, I love, I do, I feel, I am. But I actually did it backwards because it starts at the root, at the bottom.
Which is also called, for those who are looking for deeper knowledge, that's your real Jacob's ladder. But we won't get into that later.
You gotta do it.
That's your real Jacob's ladder.
Right.
Starting at the bottom, going to the top.
That's what it is.
Which is here, but we'll dive deeper into that later.
Yes, we will. So the root chakra is I am, and I am safe, I am centered, I am grounded. Now, going back to, and we don't have to go back, but the hierarchy of needs, safety. Remember, I am safe. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, baby, you know I can't see that. I feel I am in touch with my feelings. This is not just a feminine thing. This is masculine as well. I am in touch with my feelings. I am powerful, strong, and confident. I love. I am worthy of love. I speak. I hear and speak my truth. Who that sound like? Okay. I see. I trust my intuition. What? What? Okay. I know I am divine.
All right.
Okay.
Next one.
That's so important. Yep. All right. So we talked about this energy, and there are feelings that come up whenever we're talking about this conversation about the divine energies, right? And I'm wondering if people are gonna like chime into this, because there are definite feelings about the divine. Like when I've been talking to women, I love it. When we talk to men about this, right? Some people are like, I don't like that. You saying I'm not enough. You saying I need to be more feminine. You saying I need to be more of a man. Right?
Right.
And so I don't think that's what it is. It's like really wondering and thinking about what are the feelings. So let's talk about what those things are. Could you go to the next one, baby?
Let me go to the next one.
Please.
All right.
You can just click, I think. Oh, maybe not.
Yeah.
At the bottom?
At the bottom? Okay. Yeah. My bad.
It's okay. Whenever you see the arrow the other way.
Oh, yeah, other way.
Yeah.
Wait.
We gotta figure it out.
It's always technical difficulties. And so, hold on.
It's okay. The other way. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. There it is. You just had it. Oh, you could just click on that one too.
Yeah.
You're so smart. Oh my gosh, that's why you.
Difficult.
So again, there are feelings. Most of the feelings that come up, and y'all know I love a feelings wheel, are anger, right? Like again, I'm not enough. But part of that is because we've never been taught about the divine.
Right.
Like I'm gonna be honest, I've never been taught about any of this. This is from research and education. What about you?
I was taught about it, but young kid, young and dumb. Ain't nobody trying to listen to that shit. I'm trying to have
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, I'm trying to have fun and do whatever. But yeah, I was taught about it.
Okay, that's good.
We spoke about it in church.
Oh, that's wonderful.
We spoke about it in youth services, and that's just me doing the. I ain't got time for that shit. Yeah.
Okay, next.
Oh, next. All right.
You're so smart. So let's take a deep breath. What causes these feelings when you think of the divine, masculine and feminine? Well, I just answered. You can go to the next slide.
Okay. Maybe. What if they have an answer?
I don't know if people are talking to us, but we can see.
We can see. We'll do this one.
Okay. It's stereotypes.
Stereotypes.
Right. So there's a stereotype about Black men, right? And these are just 3 that I picked that were at the top. They're violent, irresponsible, and hyper masculine. And Black women are angry, independent. I would say overly independent, and emasculating.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And these thoughts contribute to the self-fulfilling prophecy and deepen distrust between Black men and Black women.
Yeah, it don't deepen it. It does not deepen the distrust for me. I may have my hardness about Black men and Black women, but I'm still not like, all right, nigga, I'm out,
Right. That's you. But we're talking about general population. Like
Gen Pop.
Generally.
Yeah, Gen Pop.
That's what it does. Okay.
All right.
So let's go. So don't you start, ma'am.
You better stop it.
So what is the divine masculine then? We keep talking about this, like, what is the divine? Like, and most people are like that. Like, I don't know what this is. What are you talking about? Divine. I'm a woman. You a man. We divine.
There it is.
No, that's not what we're talking about. So the divine energies, and you see the chakras again in the middle. So the divine feminine, when in alignment, is intuitive, grounded, receptive or open, receiving. They have strong boundaries. They're empathetic, compassionate, magnetic. I love that one. Mm-hmm. Supportive, vulnerable, authentic, flowing effortlessly.
I use that one a lot.
Yeah. Surrendered.
That's a cuss word.
That's the other word for submissive.
Ooh, that's a cuss word.
Open, trusting, and creative.
So Black men, and they're operating in the divine masculine, they're mission focused, right? Mm-hmm. Deeply present, non-judgmental, very supportive, disciplined. Ladies, listen to this one. Logical. I know that went over some of y'all head. Logical, right? Confident and accountable. Protective. That's another one. That's another one for women. That's hard for them. Honest, has integrity, humble, has boundaries, right? Offers stability.
Offers
stability. A form of stability.
And we could talk more about that.
Secure in themselves and responsible.
Right. Now, both masculine and feminine in this day and time are off. Yep. So we can talk about what, how, when, where.
How, Sway?
How, Sway? How? So the wounded or toxic feminine is insecure and needy. They project their feelings. They're aggressive. I know some people, I probably lost like 5 people right there. Manipulative. I just lost more people. Self-sacrificing.
Right.
Attention seeking.
Always online.
Chases love. Competitive.
With other women.
And sometimes with men.
Oh, yeah, definitely with men, but definitely with other women.
Over emotional. Has the victim perspective and seeks external safety and validation.
Let me see how many people we kept. Woo!
Jesus. Okay.
What are some examples of emasculating? If it's truthful, why is it emasculating? That's a good question.
What makes it truthful? Your truth and somebody else's truth are just that. I think a lot of people feel like I need to tell you about yourself all the time.
Right.
Right. We talk a lot about this. Like we differ.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Very much so.
Very much so. So we had a situation. We have lots of situations.
We do.
Where, what was it? You left something out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I love it that my husband will bring me coffee. He will bring me coffee. He will make me coffee, food,
flowers, presents.
But this particular day, it was coffee. And my man will cook. He cooks wonderfully well. However, it's like the Tasmanian devil in the kitchen.
It is.
Like he leaves everything just out and whatever.
It is.
And it bothers me because the way I operate, I cook and clean at the same time. I'm not expecting him to be me.
Clean as you go.
I have said it. I'm not even gonna lie.
Right.
So I don't expect him to be me, but I expect us to be on the same page.
Right.
Right. And so we have decided to be vulnerable and honest with each other. But it's how we deliver vulnerability and honesty, I think, that matters.
So how did you deliver it in that way, at that time?
I'm going to follow my sword and say before you, I almost said BJ. Before
BJ.
I'd be like, what the hell? What is wrong with you? Why can't you put stuff up? Like, you need to clean up after yourself. Now, if I had said that to you, you'd be like, what's wrong with you?
Let me turn this water off right quick so I can make sure I hear who you think you talking to. Because you ain't talking to me.
I did not do that.
No.
I went to him and I said to him, I'm going to say something very difficult. And he was like, oh, hell.
No, I didn't say that. I was like, okay.
I thought you said, oh, hell.
No,
but you didn't.
I was like,
no. I thought you thought it. There it is.
Yeah,
See, because I was preparing for
my thoughts.
I was trying, and that's a problem.
Trying to control. Yeah.
That's a problem because I was like, I don't want him to have an attitude, but I still need to speak my truth in this moment about what is happening. And I said, can you try to clean up after yourself? Can you do a better job of cleaning up after yourself? And he looked around, and it was the first time that you actually saw it. You were like, you're right.
Yeah, I ate that. I ate it. I ate it like the food I cook for you. I ate it. Like I was just like, yeah, I'm sorry. You know what? You're right. Let me go and throw this chicken bone in the garbage right now. And let me just get to work because I need to get out the kitchen, girl. Let me go and finish this kitchen up for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take care of that. But it's the way she approached it. A lot of people, especially Black women, when it's emasculating, they don't approach it from a place of love. They approach it from a place of frustration, a place of basically emasculating. So even though it is truthful, right? Like some of you Black women say, it ain't what you said, it's how you said it. It's the same thing for Black men.
Exactly the same thing. And even if I'm coming back, I'm like, babe, remember? And then you're like, oh man, I don't have to yell. I can just be like, babe, remember what we said? You were like, oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Because I'm not expecting perfection. No. That's the thing. Yeah. I'm not expecting you to be perfect because God knows when it comes back to me and you call me out, I'm like, ooh. Thank you for the grace.
These clothes have been cleaned for how many days?
Listen, because I don't fold clothes.
No, you fold them. You clean them. I wash them. You fold them, right? Yeah. And then I don't put them away. They'll be neatly in the corner, just in the corner. And I'll be like,
I hate laundry.
These clothes have been here, folded, smelling nice.
Yes, they smell amazing because he does an amazing job washing my clothes.
Can we put these away? And she's like, you right.
I do. Right. So I want that same grace given to me. Right. And so if I want that grace, I have to give that grace. Right. Okay, girl, did you just really say that?
But a lot of people in a lot of marriages are expecting perfection. You know why they're expecting perfection? Because they've never had anything close to something perfected within themselves.
Say that again, baby.
So if they can't reach perfection themselves, they'll put it off on you and say, I need you to be perfect, not for yourself, for me.
For me.
Because what they're really saying is, I've never been perfect in my life. I know I'm nowhere near perfect. I kind of don't understand why you're dating me. But since you're here, I'm going to need you to be perfect.
Right? That's true.
That's truth. That's truth.
All right.
So that's why it's emasculating, Kim. You got to come from a place of saying, listen, I'm about to say something. I'm not trying to emasculate you. I'm not trying to do this. And then give your perception of the truth, because you have your perception of the truth, his perception of the truth, and then the actual truth. And you have to understand that even though you're giving your perception, there still may be some false to your perception of the truth. And a lot of people don't want to hear that. Men and women, they think if they give their truth that it's the truth, therefore there's no falsehood in what they said because it's their experience. That's simply not the case.
At all.
We have to get to a point in a community where we're saying, hey, I'm going to give you my truth. And if it's the truth, then we'll run with it. But if it's not the truth, I'm going to need to have a dialogue, not yelling, not tearing down, but I'm going to need to have a dialogue with you about my perception of what I'm experiencing versus your perception of what is the actual truth or what your truth is, so we can come to the truth together, right? And that takes a conversation. That doesn't take yelling. That doesn't take blaming. That doesn't take dodging accountability. It takes vulnerability, openness, honesty, and nakedness with your partner, even when you're telling them your truth. The problem is you don't want to be naked, open, and honest when you're telling your truth. You want to dictate your truth as if it's the truth. When it's dictated to a man, especially from what seems to be a masculine woman, that's why it's emasculating.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about the wounded toxic masculinity?
Definitely, because we definitely got to talk about that. Wounded toxic masculine men. Okay, ladies, these are all red flags. Okay, and no, you cannot change him.
And please don't do that. I can change. He just needs me to pray for him.
You ain't even changed yourself.
No,
you can't change him. Okay, these are all red flags.
And we can say these people attract each other, but there's a wall. You see that? That's why all
That's
the
all
circles are black,
Yeah.
because you are not in alignment. But continue.
Y'all are trauma bonding. Y'all ain't in no relationship. Y'all are trauma bonding.
As Pam said, situationship.
Situational
Shake my head.
Right. Ego driven. Okay. Mentally stuck.
Now, remember I said that earlier when you were talking about going through the divorce and that fear of being mentally stuck. That's that. Mentally
stuck. Over and under things. If a man is overthinking or does not think enough, red flag.
Yep.
Controlling and dominating. Ooh, I like a man that takes control. No, you don't. Because if he really takes control in his toxic form, you're going to have an issue. Abusive, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Isolates either himself or you or both. You don't need to wear what you going outside for. I know you know what I'm talking about.
You don't need no friends. You just need me.
You don't need no friends. We need to be in the woods.
I snorted. I'm sorry.
Just you and me in the woods. We just do nobody else.
Yeah.
Some Wi-Fi and us.
Not even Wi-Fi.
Feels like he needs to prove. That's deep. If he feels like he needs to prove every time to you, there's obviously something wrong, right? Unsupportive, emotionally unavailable. Now, ladies, he needs to be emotionally available. He does not need to emotionally baby you and cater to your every situation. There's a difference. Stop manipulating it to make it so it comforts you. Emotionally available is emotionally available, right? Struggles to communicate. Now, if he struggles to communicate, it's one of two things. He doesn't know how, or he doesn't want to.
Or both.
Because it can be both, because he feels like he's not going to get his information across, and you're going to be like, what are you talking about? And a lot of men, I'm going to say this with love in my heart, but when we try to argue with women, this is why some of us get mad, because we come across talking like Forrest Gump and not having a full thought, or not able to bring the thought down and formulate it into a sentence. And the woman's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? And it's barraged against us. And then we're mad and we're just like, fuck it.
You know, I appreciate this. I want you to finish reading, but I just want to say I appreciate you because, you know, I ramble. I ramble. I will be in my feelings about something, and I am really trying to figure it out, but I have not like connected with the thought, and I'm just like, you know, I feel and da 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 da, and I'm like, no, I sound crazy. You're like, no, keep going.
No, keep going.
Keep going. I'm gonna put it together. It's a puzzle for me.
Yeah, I need you. My dad did puzzles.
And so we need to show that same patience and understanding. So that's what I wanted to say, and I appreciate you for it. Keep going.
Under or overworked. If a man is underworked, he may not be able to provide for you. He may not be able to provide for himself. Stop worrying about if he can provide for you, ladies. Worry first if he can provide for himself. Because if he can't provide for himself, he's not going to be able to provide for you. He's not even going to help you go 50-50. I know a lot of y'all hate that. But at the end of the day, if you check to see if he can take care of himself first, self-sustaining as a man is very important in divine masculinity, right? Now, overworked. If he stay at work, it's obviously a problem with that he feels in the relationship. He feels like his work is more important than the household, and he'll use it as an excuse as to how he contributes to the household, right?
Or if he contributes to the household.
Right, because he can work all day long. Nick will need to take a break. Mentally burned out. If he's mentally burned out, and the creative juices are not flowing, red flag. Okay. Avoids or runs from love. They say they want love. They'll say love just to get in them draws. But you have to understand, if when you confront a real man or a real woman operating in their toxicness about love, if they run from it, don't talk about it, don't want to talk about it, red flag.
Yep.
Okay.
Ooh, we got some ouches. I know.
Yeah, it's going to be that. It's going to be that, because a lot of y'all are thinking y'all are divine, but you're really not.
And it's okay. You got to know first where you are. You got to see it.
Yeah. You got to know that, no, you're not secure. You're really insecure, Black woman. No, you're not, assertive, Black man. You're controlling. You're dominating.
Right.
That's not assertive.
You think you're available, but you're not really.
No,
you
not.
can love bomb and then leave them right over there.
Mm-hmm.
Be fine. And Black woman, you're like, I'm not the victim, but they did. Right. I understand what they did, but what did you do?
If you stay online more than he does, Black woman, you are seeking attention from somebody else. You really are, because you care more about likes than you care about the liking of the man that's right next to you or the one you're supposed to be dating. Men too, because now men are online the same way, Jesus. Operating in that same toxicity, right?
So let me be clear. We're not saying any of this to tear anybody down.
No.
Because some people be like, I can't believe y'all said that about Black women. Mm-hmm. I can't believe y'all said that about them. Why are we? No, you got to call a thing a thing. Mm-hmm. And we're not just, this is toxic and wounded, feminine, Hispanic, white, Black, Puerto Rican and Asian, Haitian, everybody.
Yeah.
We're talking right now to the African diaspora. Let me just be clear.
Yeah.
Let me, again.
Yeah. Because, and again,
us.
If as a toxic Black woman in today's time, if you can point out the toxicity in a Black man, you need to be able to point out with that same energy the toxicity in some of your sisters that you run around with.
More importantly, within yourself.
Within yourself, yeah.
Yeah.
You need to point out at Black man, if you pointing over there telling her she needs to do, you need to have that same energy when it comes to these dudes out here doing some of the stuff that they're doing. They don't need to be your friends. You don't need to make excuses for them. Another the fact.
Right.
You need to surround yourself with other people who are either going to check and improve their toxic traits and behaviors, or have already worked to improve their toxic traits and or behaviors. This is
You just did it.
I just did it again.
You did no. It's okay.
Just
so
did it
we're
right there.
Yeah. Okay. So you were right. You did it. We're there. So
we're going. How did we get here?
How did we get here?
Yeah.
I thought it was another one. Okay.
No, it's right after.
How did we get here? Okay. So let's talk about it.
How did we get here to the toxicity in the Black man and the Black woman? How did we get here? Delon says, gotta be real about what and where dirt is if you truly want to clean your environment. Yeah.
Delon, you so real, but you gotta understand that people are fine with dust and cobwebs being in the corner.
Because that's what they've been used to all their lives. And that's when I said a lot of us Black men and Black women who operate in this toxic environment and these toxic behaviors, that's all they were used to. That's all they grew up with. If the Black woman for the past 3 or 4 decades had majority custody of their kids, that means they have raised the Black man and the Black woman in the same environment.
Right.
So if the Black man and the Black woman as boys, as young girls, came from the same toxic environment, then they get out in the world, what do you think they're going to look for?
The same thing. Same thing. And then they get mad about it. And I'm like, y'all got to see the game. Y'all have to see the whole puzzle about how we got here. So let's dive into this.
Yeah, let's dive into it.
You're there, baby.
Yeah.
So
next slide.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This gonna hurt a little bit.
So we have to look at the historical impacts, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So before colonization, before we came over to this country, each one of us, the divine masculine and the divine feminine, we were valued. Like I was talking to in Queendom, the balance that the divine feminine offered was essential
Yeah.
for the running of the community.
Yeah.
And so when I think about that, like I got that in my spirit, that was something that was in my head like all week. Like your divine feminine is essential to this community. But when we think about the larger community right now and that divine not being there,
Yeah.
where there's a huge hole.
Very whole. It's on the sidewalk.
Right.
Yeah.
And so women were revered as spiritual leaders, healers, key decision makers, while men held the protective leadership and community roles. These roles were complementary rather than hierarchical.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we worked together. It wasn't like you on the top, I'm on the bottom. It was, we're a team.
Yeah.
The yin and yang of each other.
Team effort. It has always been a team effort.
Mm-hmm.
Some of y'all ain't team players.
Mm-mm.
Not your fault. Because if you look back at your environment, if you look back at how you grew up, you don't know what a team looks like.
Nope.
You've seen it, TV, other people, families, sports. But as far as where it really counted within your household from childhood to adolescence to young adult, you have never seen the dynamic of a team in a black man and a black woman. And if you did see it, it was great grandma and them, maybe a couple uncles and them, okay? But nothing on a consistent basis.
Yeah, it was not what we, it just wasn't played out the way that we needed to see it.
Right.
It just wasn't.
And that is not your fault as a child. What is your fault is if you continue to still operate in such manner.
Right.
Right.
Right. So then chattel and slavery, of course, slavery, we were stripped from our ability to protect. Well, men were stripped from the ability to protect and provide for their families, while women were forced to take on both nurturing and labor intensive roles for other people's families.
They intentionally got the black man out the way so they can target the black woman.
There it is.
Because the black man carries a seed, the black woman carries the home of the seed.
Right.
If the black man is out here working and the black woman nurtures the home, it's no different than the black man carrying the seed and the black woman carrying the home of said seed.
Right.
Okay.
So this trauma just broke down our family. The unit distorted from there. And then gender roles in enslavement, black women subjected to sexual violence and exploitation, while black men were emasculated through physical and psychological abuse and sexual abuse. We don't like to talk about that.
Black men were equally sexually abused during slavery, even during Jim Crow. As the black woman, there was literally no difference.
Right.
What they did to y'all, they did to us.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So both experienced deep dehumanization, which fractured their connection to the divine energy. The trauma in this era has been passed down through generation, impacting black men and women and how they relate to each other. So all of this stuff is passed down in our DNA.
And the point that I'm trying to make is if we both came from the same household of the single mother in the past 3 to 4 decades, how do you equate as a black man, especially as a black woman, to sit there and blame each other for your toxic behaviors and not knowing when both of you didn't know?
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
And it continues to get worse, as you said, in the post-emancipation Jim Crow, the dismantling of the black family. Now, this We know that slavery was intentional to dismantle the family,
Yeah.
but this is even more intentional,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We both faced systematic efforts to undermine the Black family structure. Black men were criminalized, economically disenfranchised, and excluded from meaningful work opportunities, while Black women were often forced into domestic labor, continuing to carry the burden of both nurturing their family and financially contributing. No more wine for me.
Nah.
So this starts that independent woman. Well, I'm doing all this. What I need you for? That's what that starts.
You're only doing it because we couldn't get a chance to do it.
Right.
They took our chance to do it.
There you go. And then masculinity under siege, which breaks my heart. Black men's inability to fulfill the stereotypical provider role due to the economic and systematic barriers led to further imbalance in divine masculine energy. Men were either overcompensating with hypermasculine behaviors or retreating emotionally, while women stepped into more masculine roles to keep the family afloat. Now, again, these things were done very systematically by society.
Right. You wanted that government cheese, you wanted that government check because your man couldn't provide. You remember the welfare checks?
Mm-hmm.
They weren't welfare checking white folk. They was coming into Black neighborhoods because they still needed a form of slavery by imprisoning the Black man in the prison system. Because if you're a prisoner or you're in jail, slavery is legal.
Say it again, baby.
If you're in jail, slavery is legal. So what they do? They knew the Black man was going to work. They had to take the jobs for him. We're not hiring. No Black people, no colors, right? The Black woman is depending on the Black man, but then at the same time, she understands it's getting tight. So they put you in a crunch. They put you and me in a squeeze. They put us in a squeeze. And then the Black man said, oh, I heard about this program where they're giving away free stuff for people like us who need help, but I can't be here. So we got to act like we've getting divorced. We got to act like I've just abandoned you and left you. Yeah. And then every time the welfare check come home, the Black man is sneaking out the back window.
Yeah.
And if he got caught, where did he go?
Jail. There it is.
So then there's this big campaign, and you can look at it. CBS did a whole interview, 60 minutes interview about Black women now saying, well, I don't need a Black man. I could just have a baby by him and get what I need to have.
It's a whole nother conversation in the modern day, but let me read civil rights movement and feminist movement. Right. Now, let me just say, because you know how I feel about this. Right. I'm not a feminist.
I'm a womanist.
I'm a womanist. Yeah. Right. And I love that. When you heard that, you were like, baby, I'm a womanist too. Like, yes, baby. Because womanist is not just about the Black woman or or themselves and them rising, but it's about the family, about the community rising. So I am definitely a womanist. So feminist movement was not about Black women.
Never.
It was not. But that's another conversation. Reclaiming power. So the civil rights movement alongside second wave feminism allowed Black women to step into positions of leadership and activism. However, the struggle for equality for Black women often became intertwined with mainstream white feminists.
Right.
Which did not always account for the intersectionality of race and gender.
Right.
This created tension between Black men and Black women, as Black women sought liberation for both racial and gender oppression.
You remember in the 90s, isn't it just weird? Let me get this straight for y'all. Let me paint y'all a picture. In the 80s, they squeezed us. Reaganomics squeezed us. Carter didn't do anything, but Reaganomics definitely squeezed us. In the 90s, remember the theme with Black women is now they're in jobs that Black men would normally have. And now in order to get with me, you need to have a J-O-B.
J-O-B, because ain't nothing going on but the rich.
Right.
You got to have a J-O-B. I'm sorry.
You're going all the way in. But
I was there.
At the end of the day, you think that wasn't done by design?
That was by design.
They not hiring Black men, but all of a sudden they're hiring Black women. Black women education As far as enrollment, look at the stats. The 90s compared to black men was way up. So at the end of the day, they anticipated as a part of their plan the separation of the black man from the black woman. They masculinized, I don't know if that's a word, but they made the black woman masculine, right? By giving her all these different things. Because listen, what they gave y'all as black women, we still as black men had to go out there and fight for. Still. They gave y'all, we had to fight for, right? So, and we don't mind fighting. That's not the point. The point is it was done systematically.
Most definitely.
Right?
So the changing dynamics as black women became more empowered in public spheres, some black men feeling sidelined experienced more emotional disconnection while exacerbated in the imbalance of divine energies. This period laid the groundwork for tensions between black men and black women in intimate relationships.
Right.
So let's go to the next slide, please.
Next slide, please. I think I can get it.
You got it. So generational traumas, inherited traumas. So the traumas from slavery, segregation, and systematic racism has been passed down through the generations. Both black men and women have inherited deep emotional wounds, feelings of inadequacy, distorted views of their gender roles, okay? Right. Because we kind of just had to figure it out on the fly. That's what it was. Right. So the role reversals and imbalances. Generations of black women have been socialized to be strong, independent, and resilient, often at the expense of embodying their divine or not embodying their divine feminine energy.
They needed you black women to trade in your divine feminine energy because they knew if you operated in your divine feminine energy, you would see that the black man was the first wave of the attack just to get to you. That's why I said in the TikTok video, you're not the prize, you're the target.
There it is. Black men, conversely, have faced challenges in embracing their divine masculine energy due to societal emasculation and economic disenfranchisement. So then we have this hypermasculinity and then the femininity.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. I need for y'all to understand that. So due to systemic oppression, many black men have been pressured to adopt hypermasculine traits, aggression, emotional suppression to survive. This disconnection from their nurturing, protective, and emotional attunement is, against the divine masculine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so the black women, often labeled as strong black women, have had to take on the traditional masculine roles, such as financial provision and protection. This has contributed to a dynamic where they struggle to tap into their softer, nurturing, and receptive divine energy.
Now, I'm going to say something real quick.
You going to say it with your chest?
I'm going to say it with my chest. I want y'all to just really think about what I'm really about to ask you. Out of all the stuff we just said about black men and black women that have gone on through the years, since before Jim Crow, since slavery, up until now, right? Where the roles of the black man and the black woman have essentially been reversed, right? Think about what I'm about to ask you real hard.
Okay.
Name one other ethnic group in this country that has their gender roles reversed.
You'll wait?
I'll wait.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that.
I'll wait.
There's not one.
The Asian woman don't have her gender roles reversed.
Neither does the Hispanic woman.
The Pakistani woman doesn't have her gender roles reversed. The African women that come over from Sudanese, South Africa, and different parts of Egypt do not have their gender roles reversed. Here's a shocker. The white woman doesn't have her gender roles reversed. It's only within the black community that the gender roles have been reversed. Think about
Well,
it.
people will say, "Oh, look at Hillary. Well, look at this." No, it's a game, and
No,
that's what we don't understand. It's a
no,
game. You have to
no.
look deeper into what is really going on because that's a move for power. But that's a whole
And
nother
second of all,
conversation.
stop comparing regular everyday life to life that is not regular. We in the Black community, for some strange reason, like to compare ourselves to superstars and people with way more money and way more issues than regular, everyday, average Black folk. That's not your life. You don't compare. Stop comparing your relationship to something you have not reached. Stop expecting that man, stop expecting that woman to be at a level as what you see on TV and in the videos and in social media. It is not that. It's fluff. And the real stuff you don't operate in. A lot of y'all want wealth and money and to be rich, but y'all don't want them rich people problems. Y'all don't know nothing about a lot of stuff that these rich people go through.
Correct.
This is not your lane. They are not you. Cardi B and Offset, that's not your couple goals.
Not you. When people talk about that, like, well, they're in a different
atmosphere.
Totally different.
They not regular everyday people.
Don't do that.
Okay, they stopped being regular when they started making the kind of money they made.
All right.
So stop comparing. Compare yourself to what's in your social economic circle, or compare yourself to your community or to your state or whatever. But stop comparing yourself to people who are not in the same tax bracket as you.
I think social media has definitely made the world smaller. Like the internet, we know that it made the world smaller and more accessible. Right. But I think it made us think that we are on the same level as certain people. We are not.
You are not.
I'm not.
You are not.
Listen. Okay. Go to the next one, baby. I'm sorry. Listen. Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it's
Delon
hurting.
said y'all acting up. I'm not trying to act up. I'm just saying. I skipped one. Today's rhetoric. Did I miss today's rhetoric?
Yeah,
or were you there? I apologize. You were there. Yeah. Did you do today's rhetoric?
You didn't put it there.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You didn't put it there.
Okay, so where are we operating from?
Yeah, just go with the flow.
Y'all, I'm sorry. Listen.
But we talked about today's rhetoric already.
We did.
And essentially,
you're right.
We talked about the rhetoric of, that toxic Black women and toxic Black men have with each other.
Right.
It's all on social media. You can't tell them nothing. We just have to get to a point where we're no longer letting the few or the minority speak for the majority, right?
So I'm going to be honest with this question. I mean, we can interact with the audience a little bit with this one. Where are you operating from? I'm going to be honest. I could say 10 years ago, masculine. I'm not even going to lie.
Yeah.
10 years ago, I was operating from masculine, and I saw nothing wrong with it because that's what I saw my mama do. That's what I saw my grandmama do. That's what I heard my great-grandmama did. No, I knew that too. That's what she did. Even though she had a husband, she ran him. I mean, that's what I saw.
Right.
And so me operating from that position just seems normal. And then when we're talking about like, well, why you don't have a partner? Well, why you not with somebody? Well, I want you to be with somebody. But that's not what we were taught. That's not how we were taught to be.
Yeah.
So how do you, what is it?
Yeah, I think for me, and I know in 2018, from 2018 to like 2021, yeah, I was deep in red pill. I was taking red pill like it was Skittles because it resonated with me, and it was like, yeah, these are the things that they're not talking about. And when they start talking about men in red pill and the lack of stuff that they weren't doing, I was like, yeah, I need to change, some of these so-called friends and stuff like that. So, there was some red pill stuff that I was just like, nigga, whatever, whatever, but there was a lot of red pill stuff that I was like, yeah, I definitely understand that. I definitely get that on both sides of the coins, but I still had to go through my healing process because, that whole, in order to get over somebody, you got to get under
Oh,
somebody.
Lord Jesus, somebody just said that to me. I'm like, baby, why you do that?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't.
I even took my time because, again, I didn't bring a lot of women around my daughter. I wasn't going for that.
Right.
And so, but even when I did try to date, because I didn't completely go through the process, I failed miserably, you know. And so that's what that means to be ready to date, going through the process, operating from your divine masculinity. Because when I start operating from my divine masculinity, that's when I got the dates that was like, I know where you live and all this other stuff. Remember that? And I was like, same person just asked me for $20. And a blunt. Yeah, she asked me for $20 and a blunt.
Grandpa.
But you know where I live, but you ain't got no gas money to get here. Yeah.
I mean,
it's stuff, you know, it's stuff like that allows you, when you operate in your divine masculinity or your divine femininity, it's easy for you to see the red flags and easily dismiss them. And not try to be like, well, maybe I can, because men do it too. I could change her. She just need a real nigga. No, she needs help. She needs therapy.
Needs to get herself together.
You can't love her more than she loves herself.
Thank you.
And you can't love him more than he loves himself. So it was a lot of that, and it's, you know, holding yourself to the fire and holding yourself to accountability and realizing again, you know, if you want to get out there and date, if you can't date yourself, then you don't need to be dating nobody else.
Don't date.
Yeah. You don't need to be dating nobody else.
Yeah, I totally agree with you in that. Well, you know, if you got to do all of that, it ain't time. It ain't time. Go back.
It ain't time.
Go back to the drawing board. So let's keep going back.
Do not pass go.
Do not collect $200. So yes.
No.
So are you willing to change and do something different? I hope people are. And let's talk about what we need to do to get that different.
Some people are not willing to change.
So commitment and courage needed to mend relationships. So basically, we need to heal the wounds of the past. You got to acknowledge the historical trauma that you've been through, not only through the things that we've talked about, like with slavery and Jim Crow and all of that stuff, but your family history and your personal history as well.
Right.
Heal from that. Because people are like, nah, that was so long ago. I'm fine.
You ain't fine.
No. Don't do that.
You broken and triggered.
So in engaging in collective healing, like really having conversations like this across the table with Black men and Black women, coming from a place of understanding, trying to understand. And that's why we do this, because we really want people to have this dialogue with each other and try to understand, not from a place of judgment, but a place of understanding.
No, but listen, it's not your fault. It's only your fault if you continue to operate in your toxic behavior. Some of it, we're not even going to count the fact that some of you know you're actually toxic. You're not a good human being. You have toxic traits and habits and behaviors. It's the reason why you keep having the same issues in your relationships.
Over and over
again. Okay, fine. But if you're willing to do something about it, then you can, you know, sidestep the responsibility, because now you're making the change by taking accountability. Right?
So embrace the divine masculine and feminine energies. So men reclaiming the divine masculine. So babe, you are doing Purpose on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Central Standard, Eastern 8 p.m., correct?
That's correct.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
Purpose is exactly what it means. Men need to find their purpose. Men need to find again, what we were talking about was men are goal and focus driven, right? So if you don't have purpose, then you don't have a place to, as a man, grow, cultivate healthy habits, so forth and so forth. A lot of you are married to your job thinking that that's your purpose. No, that's one of many purposes that you have, but you're not supposed to stay stagnant in your job, just like you're not supposed to stay stagnant in your life. So you got to have purpose. And in the men's group that I have is we talk about having purpose. We talk about finding purpose. We talk about staying on purpose, what to do if you get off purpose, so forth and so forth.
The thing that I love is that it's not just like we're supporting each other, right?
Yeah.
So in women, we have Finding Queendom, and I host Finding Queendom on Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's for women in the African diaspora to really support each other and talk about things that we have experienced. But right now, we've been doing this whole thought process about shadow traits. And again, you know me, I breadcrumb people.
Yeah.
I give a little bit, we talk a little bit and talk. And we've been working this whole year to get to this divine,
Right.
the divine feminine energy, right?
Right.
And so the shadow traits will keep feminine from being in their divine.
Right. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And so if you really want to embrace your divine and really understand, like, what am I doing? Like, how am I doing? We come from a supportive, calling each other out. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
We call each other out, but we also call each other in.
Right.
We love on each other. We respect each other. We want each other to be better. That's why we've created these groups, because we want man and woman, female and male, to vibrate higher,
right,
vibrate differently. So
right.
That's that divine and embracing those things. Here's the curse word. You ready for it, baby? Mutual accountability and respect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about that, babe?
No, it's just you got to have mutual accountability. Stop worrying about if that person's going to be accountable when you need to worry about if you're going to be accountable.
Well, you didn't do, well, I needed you to, you didn't.
Focus on your own accountability before focusing on somebody else's accountability. Because you dodge accountability, you don't know what it looks like when that person actually does take accountability. So focus on your own accountability, focus on your own toxic traits, focus on the things that have to deal with you, which is the stuff you actually can control and change before you focus on pointing out the other stuff in other people.
One of the things that you do that I really respect, and I I've started doing it more, is that when I say something about what's going on with you, you'll take a breath and think about it. And then you'll be like, okay. You'll be like, okay, yes. Or, well, I don't know, right? Mm-hmm. Where usually I don't take any breaths. I'm like, I don't do that. And I'm like, okay, no, that's not true, because you probably actually do that. Yeah. So now I'm back to that place where I'm like, okay, you need to take a breath, think about it, take a pause, and then respond in a way, whether you feel like it is something you do, you don't do, or maybe you can consider that. Because you're not holding me accountable to make me feel bad about myself.
No. And that's the thing. When you hold people accountable, it has to come from a place of love.
Yeah.
If you're in a relationship. If you want to be in a relationship, or you just care about that person, you're holding them accountable because you love them. You want them to do better. You know that they're going to make mistakes, but when they do make unnecessary mistakes or repeated mistakes, it's your job as a person who says that you love them to hold them accountable and point it out, no matter what the blowback is going to be. It doesn't matter. What matters is, did you hold them accountable? Did you hold yourself accountable to hold them accountable?
Right.
It goes both ways when it comes to men and women. And sometimes it's how you deliver it. Sometimes it's if you deliver it at all.
Right.
So it's one of those things where you respect because you respect yourself. You hold accountable because you hold yourself accountable.
Right.
There's no hiding or in between for either one of you.
Right. And that really speaks to that respectful partnership. So, yeah. The last one, media and cultural shifts.
Right.
Shifts. Ooh. Amplifying positive narratives like this. Like, we are really trying to dig deep and uplift, positivity, and come from a place of understanding how we got here.
Right.
Not just we here and I'm mad at you and you mad at me and we mad. No.
Right.
This is really trying to figure out like how we got here and figuring out how to implement change, and then encouraging conscious content, like thinking about what we're doing, thinking about what we're saying before we actually say it.
Stop celebrating ratchetness.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I said it. Stop celebrating ratchetness and then getting mad when ratchetness appears in different areas of your life, which it shouldn't be. Stop celebrating the emasculation of men, but then complain that there are no good men around. Stop celebrating the ratchetness of women and what's being displayed on social media, but then complaining there's no good black women around.
Oh, you sassy because you arguing with a woman. No, I'm just having an intelligent sparring conversation with someone about a topic.
Right.
Are we not debating?
Now, we can't say that, there's a little hood, there's a little ratchetness in everybody, or it can come out. But it's how we celebrate it and amplify it to where it spills over, and then we're mad at the results. Again, we sit there as black men and say, there are no good black women. But then we sit there and co-sign ratchetness that we see on TV, like Sexy Red, like Cardi B, like anybody else who's out here just selling sex instead of selling lyrics, right? It's okay to be sexy while you're selling lyrics, but you're selling sex more than you're selling the lyric, right? You're selling the visual. And so then you want to get mad, oh, she dressed like this, or she dressed like that. But that's what you co-sign. Black women, same thing. You sit up there and there's nothing wrong with gay men at any point in time if that's what you do based off your sexuality. But stop calling them cis this and cis that when that is a gay man. But then you complain that there are no gay men, or there are no straight men around for you to love on and be with. You complain, you sit up there and you co-sign a man that's on your couch thinking you can change him. And then when you get fed up and tired, now there's no good black men, right? So we got to stop co-signing our own downfalls is what I'm essentially saying.
Right.
Because when you co-sign your own downfall, you get the results of said downfall.
Yeah.
But you think, oh, I don't want to be a hater. I don't want to be this. I don't want to be that. No, it's just having healthy boundaries, healthy standards, and healthy morals to where, hey, you recognize that that kind of stuff exists, but that doesn't have to define what actually is. We're letting social media, we're letting rappers, artists, and people who don't care about our community, have never marched anywhere, have never donated anything to any cause, dress however they want to dress and tell us about relationships. And then we go back to each other like, you supposed to act like this. I saw it on BET. Tyler Perry said you should act like that. I saw it on one of his movies. No, that is not realistic at any point in time. That's not realistic. So we got to start being realistic and amplifying the good stuff as well as acknowledging that there is bad stuff out there, but not letting it define our lives, right? We got to start doing that.
Yeah. Whew, Jesus. So this has been a really good convo to me.
Yeah.
Like we
I know we had some things.
So much growth that we need to do in our community. And I know that it can seem so overwhelming at times, It can only seem overwhelming when you realize how far down you really are, how deep down the rabbit hole you really are, right? That's the only way it seems overwhelming. Right.
When you look up and be like, damn, I'm really this far down.
Right.
Damn, I'm really this far gone.
Right.
Then it seems overwhelming, right? Because you weren't paying attention. Like, for instance, there's a girl out there right now trending on social media. She's a sexual content creator. She's black. And she was messing with this dude named Gucci Third Leg or something like that.
Oh, God.
And he's a sexual content creator as well.
He is.
So she said that he gave her HPV and then another sexually transmitted disease, and she's out there like, I'm sorry, I didn't know what he was doing to these women. I just chose the money, but I kept silent. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, I'm supposed to feel sorry for you because you told on yourself. You chose the money instead of being responsible with your body, even though you're doing sexual content. Like, you think people out here like Mr. Marcus and Superhead survive the AIDS crisis in the porn industry because they weren't being responsible with their bodies while doing sexual content?
Right.
Like, come on, that's the problem. You just jumped in, and now she wants people to feel sorry for her and painting him in a bad light when you contributed. You opened your legs. You decided to do what you did without doing the research. And she says, I didn't do the research. I didn't do this. And it's like, okay, cool, but we can't feel sorry for you at this point in time.
You're creating so many haters, baby.
I'm just saying.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that you're creating so many haters.
I'll be that because we need a couple of villains at this point in time because everybody in our community,
everybody wants to be the victim.
I wouldn't say everybody wants to be the victim. I would say everybody wants a damn participation trophy.
Well, some people want to be the victim because they don't want to look at their stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And again, I understand, and this is not to shame anybody, but we have to take an honest look at where we're at as people, where we're at as a people. People ask this question, why is the dating pool like it is? We just gave y'all a bunch of reasons of why the dating pool is the way it is. But because it paints you in a realistic view and it holds you accountable, black man and black woman, you don't want to hear that.
So what should people do? Get some therapy. Go talk to some people.
Black men get
some
therapy.
Coaching. Get something.
That's
really have somebody talk to you about what's going on with you, your life, your feelings, your emotions. Help you to look at yourselves. I don't think that we are often given the opportunity to really give a once over of ourselves and do a critical analysis.
This is the same reason why some of black men, the majority of black men and some black women don't like going to the doctor because they're scared of what they're going to see. It's the same reason you don't like going to somebody to get help because you're scared of what you already know is there.
Right.
Like you go to the doctor, you know you've been eating wrong, you know you overweight, you know you ain't been working out, and the doctor gonna tell you some stuff that you already know.
You need to lose 20 pounds. Doc, I ain't know that. Yes, you did.
Yeah, okay, yeah. You got clogged arteries, you got this, you got that. But again, you got it. I think black men should normalize the phrase, bro, go see a counselor.
Right.
Go see a therapist. Because that stuff nowadays, remember that young guy in the pawn shop?
In the pawn shop. He was like, for kids who are between 13 and 18, they're like,
that's normal.
Man, I'm feeling, and everybody comes and hugs him. But over 20, over 18, they were like, what's going on? Why are they hugging them? Mm-hmm. It's not normalized in that population. And so to normalize that it's okay for black men to have feelings. It's okay for men to have feelings. Yeah. And I actually think, I'll be real honest, I think white men got that. They fine.
Yeah, white men got that. Yeah. Black men
on the other hand,
get in touch and understand.
We don't need no counseling.
Because the woman, the person who's really supposed to help you with feelings is the woman.
Say it again, babe.
The person who's supposed to help you navigate your feelings is the woman.
Black or women they are supposed to be more in touch with their feminine side, which is more in touch with their emotions. As we stated earlier, logic and women, I'm sorry, I'm not saying that women cannot be logical, because that is an argument that I've had. I'm not saying that women cannot be logical. Because women can, yes, women cannot. I'm not saying that women cannot be logical. I'm saying that our divine is more emotional.
Let me tell you something. You know how women say, and I'm going to speak to women.
Okay.
You know how women say, I don't want a man all emotional. I'm emotional. That's like me being in a relationship with two women, I'm not gay, or whatever they say, the women that say that, right? If that's the case, because that's what I said, that's the case.
Say it.
What the hell make you think we want to be in a relationship with another man with your masculinity floating all over the place?
And I will say that I said this the other day when we were in Finding Queendom. Like, if you are emoting masculinity all the time, that is a turnoff to a man who wants to be in a heterosexual relationship.
He needs to show me his masculinity, so I don't have to.
No, he does not need to show you anything.
You just need to turn it off.
You need to show yourself, your femininity, and he needs to show himself his masculinity.
Right.
And when you all come together, it is divine. I don't think it's always like, you got to prove. Again, that proving thing, no one has to do anything. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it with my chest. I'm sorry. Maybe it's because I got my hair done today. Yes, got my hair done. Even though you couldn't see it, now you see it. I wanted to wear a hat today. So we get on this whole thing about, okay, I need for you to prove things to me before I give you what it is you want, need, and desire. No, the only person that you need to prove it to is yourself.
But see, that's the problem. You don't want to prove it to yourself because you know yourself is toxic as hell. So you want somebody else to prove it to you. And that's the problem with the modern day black man and the modern day black woman.
Notice he said both. He said both.
And
because I feel like the last time that I was in session in group, people were like thinking that I was coming for their necks. I'm not coming for your neck.
Nobody's coming for your neck. But we gotta help you. We gotta have hard conversations.
Yeah.
We have to have hard conversations. We in our practice have helped too many people for us not to say we gotta have hard conversations. What we're saying is, yes, you have toxic and ugly traits about you. Everybody does. Welcome to the group. Here's the thing. You're still alive. You could do something about it.
And I think a lot of us feel like, oh, I'm 40. I got at least 20, 30 more years.
Listen.
One of my cousins, hey, Cora, how you doing, baby? Congratulations on your graduation. I'm so proud of you, Cora. Good job. My baby just graduated from Phoenix, yes. Congratulations. But one of her friends had a whole stroke at 40. 40.
She wasn't getting stroked at 40. She had a stroke.
I'm done. I can't with you. I cannot.
You should be getting stroked at 40.
But to have, and again, being out of alignment, going back to this, being out of alignment, right, of the divine causes you health concerns, hypertension, stress, mental, physical, emotional damage.
Right. You
are not built for that. That's not what you were created to be. What's the song? I was not created. I don't even know the song.
I don't know that song.
You did not create me. Never mind.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Just let it
go. So sorry. Bottle of water.
Let it go.
No. Sorry. So all I'm saying, this is bad. Yeah. But anyway, really good though. What we need basically is for people to come to the realization that I need some help. I need help.
And getting help is normal.
It is.
You ask for help on your job.
Oh, well, some people don't.
And that's why you still ain't got no job, or you feel between jobs.
Right? We were talking about vacation in the last time. Some people still got 400 hours of vacation time and never took it.
And as soon as they fire your black self, they're going to cut their vacation money in half because you should have took it.
Should have taken it.
You should have took it. You got to understand, you have one life. Ladies, you don't have time. I'm sorry. They lied to you. You don't have time. You have to do career and home life at the same time. There is no in between. There is no one or the other. You don't have time. Your biological clock as a woman does not work that way. Sorry. God made you with a cap on it, just like God made us with a cap on it. Men, stop dragging these women around for 15 years talking about that's your girlfriend. You look like an idiot. You look real goofy.
Somebody, we were watching something, and they were boyfriend, girlfriend for like 15 years. I'm like, no, sir.
That's your
no, ma'am.
That's your
I'm
husband.
Done.
That's your wife.
I'm done. No. If you can't commit to me, and that's what we were saying, running from love. That is running.
Yeah.
I need for you to recognize what that's running from a commitment. If that person does not want to commit to you, let them go so you can be open to somebody who actually does want to commit.
And at the end of the day, you know, the way I understand, because the way some of these modern feminist women weaponize marriage, they get the baby, they want the money, take half or whatever the case may be, just to have child support. You know, it's been weaponized. So I'm just saying.
This evening has been so wonderful.
It has. It's been a little tough, but it's been needed, and it came from a place of love.
Yeah,
because we love y'all.
We love our audience. We really do. Shout out to each and every one of you. Shout out to the Team Fletch.
Team Fletch, ain't that common law marriage? That is common law marriage. And a lot of people don't know that once the state deems you common law marriage, she still can take you. She still can take you, bro.
Yeah.
Still can take you. Still can.
That's crazy, though.
Let it go. Done deal.
That's crazy. So it's been amazing, as it always is, to be with you all this evening to have this difficult conversation.
But that's what season 2 is all about. We're about taking it a little bit deeper, having the difficult conversations, and talking to couples and people who will show you, like we'll talk to the Fudges. We're going to air that interview this week. We're going to talk to the Fudges. We talked to them on the cruise and did the interview on the cruise, and they could tell you their love story. And their love story is living proof that if you want to do right and you want to get it together, you can. And then when you can and you do, you find somebody on the same wavelength as you, and it comes together.
And then we have another interview that we'll be doing that we are very excited about, right?
Yeah.
And this couple, we love them.
They're in North Carolina.
North Carolina, come on the reef. Okay.
We ain't gonna say their names because we got to protect the innocent.
Thanks again for tonight. We appreciate you. Remember, if you want to join either one of the groups, please send us a message at theobsidianluxgroup.com and we will add you to the group. All right. Thanks so much.
You act like you left a voicemail or something. That's a voicemail.
That was a voicemail. Please leave your name after the beep.
And baby, listen to the song at the end.
Not the song.
Remember that? Old school?
Oh my gosh. You went
play
real
the song
old
at the right
school.
time? Yeah.
Real old school.
Yeah.
Remember when you have the ring? That's a song when it goes on, like when people are calling you, it's an actual song.
Yeah.
Craziness.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
Like, why does this man got Keith Sweat?
Make it last forever.
On his voicemail. Yo, this Jay, I'm not here right now. I'm leaving a message in the background. In the background is Keith Sweat. Make it last
right.
forever. I don't understand.
Or how deep is your love?
Yeah, I don't understand. You know what we used to do as black folks some crazy. Remember, there's a guy online. He's like, that was you that was wearing them clear Air Force Ones. Remember that? What the clear Air Force was? He said that was you. That was you with the bubble jacket, like Miss Elliott. Remember that? He was going off. I love that guy.
I'm sorry, y'all.
It's going off. All right, listen. We're out of here. We have fun. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next Sunday. Peace.